Hey guys, Brian and Aaron here with 5 to Go. We have been getting a lot of questions as we've been on our trip. We sold everything back around Thanksgiving and we left home right after Christmas, and we've been on the road since then, and right now it is May 15th. So we've been at this for about 4.5 months now, and we keep getting a lot of the same questions, so we wanted to go ahead and just put this video together to answer, looks like 6 questions that we've been getting a whole lot, and let's just kind of start going through them one by one.
Why did you sell everything and do this? We had always planned, Brian and I, to go on a trip like this once our youngest had graduated from high school and was off doing whatever he was going to go and do. And so we had kind of like just had it in the back of our minds, you know, maybe we'll get an RV and we'll travel around, maybe we'll do something. We just wanted to go and travel. Yeah. And over the last couple of years, we have lost a few of our family members, and, you know, we just kind of were talking one day that tomorrow isn't promised. You know, something could happen and we could do this plan for the next 17 years of getting ready to do this and retire and everything, and then Brian gets hit by a bus the day we leave or the day before we leave, and then all of that planning is for naught. Kind of a pessimistic view, but stuff happens.
Yeah, life happens.
Right. So life kind of happened to us a little bit. I wasn't getting any promotions and jobs. I had gone on a lot of interviews and hadn't gotten hired for anything new.
A second degree, second master's degree.
Yeah. And I really liked what I was doing, but I wanted to do something new, and that just wasn't happening in the area that I was living. And then Brian got the call.
I've been working at a really good job for 6.5 years. Had gotten several promotions and was up to director level, and then a third of the company got laid off, and I was one of that third of the company. So when that happened, we were just like, all right, this is it.
Let's reevaluate.
Let's look at everything. Let's figure out what we're doing, and what we're doing ended up being sell everything, get our money back out of real estate because everything was kind of stagnant,
right,
and hit the road. So that's what we did. We sold everything. We decided to do this in July.
July of 2017.
Started looking around, started looking at RVs. When we made the actual decision, I personally had never even stepped foot in an RV. It's kind of silly.
Yeah.
But so we started everything in July, started looking at RVs, and got an amazing real estate agent.
Oh my goodness.
And she sold both our rental property and the house we were living in a week.
In a week. She's amazing.
So
we love you, Ashley.
Yes. And so that really went together really quick. So we bought the RV in October. We brought it home right before Halloween.
Yep.
We closed on both of our houses the week after Thanksgiving, and we stayed nearby, near family and friends, for Christmas, and we left the day after Christmas.
Yep.
So that's it.
Yep.
We've been to 45 parks and campgrounds and 13 states in about 4.5 months, and we're still going strong.
Yes. Alrighty, so the next one is, how did you pick your RV and the truck that you have?
Getting attacked by a boat. So, the RV, we have a 2018 Grand Design Reflection 312 BHTS. There is a tour video here on this channel, so go check that out. I'll try and put a link up here. We absolutely love it. First of all, we narrowed everything down, but there's 2 big classes of RVs. There's towables and there's drivables. So the towables are travel trailers and fifth wheels, and the drivables, the motorhomes, are Class A's, B's, and C's. I'm not going to get into those, but the reason that we decided on a towable versus a drivable is primarily cost. Drivable ones are extremely expensive. They depreciate a lot because with the amount of miles we'd be putting on them, it's another engine, another transmission, another set of wheels and axles, and
all of that stuff,
maintenance and all of that stuff. So we knew very quickly that we were going to get either a travel trailer or a fifth wheel.
Right.
And again, between travel trailer and fifth wheel, there were really 2 primary considerations why we went with a travel trailer. One, a lot of fifth wheels, the bunkhouse models we didn't really like too much, or the ones that we did like were huge.
We're huge and we're way
super
too
heavy,
expensive.
super long, super expensive. And number 2 is price. The fifth wheels, kind of in general, are at least $10,000 to $20,000 more than travel trailers.
Right.
So we started looking at travel trailers. We had numbers in mind, like 30 feet and under $30,000 and stuff like that. And as we started to look at RVs, like we went to shows, we went to every dealer within 150 miles.
We went up to Pennsylvania to the Hershey show.
We went to the Hershey show. There's also a video for that. I'll try and link it up here. But we ultimately ended up going back to the first dealership we went to when we started this journey, which was
10 miles
really,
down the road from our house.
It was crazy. It was really interesting. So we literally went in hundreds of RVs, and that is not an exaggeration. As soon as we walked into it, we knew, like, we walked in, we sat down, and we were like, we had no idea what the price was, but we walked in and sat down, we were like, this is it.
Well, we had gone and looked at one that was new on their lot, just because I hadn't seen that model before, and then right next to it was this one, and I was like, okay, we haven't found what we like. Let's just go and sit in what the really nice ones look like, just to see if they even meet our criteria, or we just have, astronomical criteria or whatever. So right next to it, we went in, the manager was with us, he opened it up for us, was telling us all the great things about it, and we sat down in the recliners and we were like, we could live here.
Yeah. The build quality is fantastic.
Yeah.
There's plenty of room. You'll see on the tour that the living area has opposing slides. There's a kitchen island in the middle. The bunkhouse is completely separate with a solid door, and yada yada yada.
All of our things were checked off. We have a fireplace.
So it's just a fantastic RV, and
it was a little bit above our budget, though.
It was definitely over our budget.
But
it was fine.
We
was
figured
worth
it out.
Because when you look at RVs, a lot of especially when you get into the ultralights that you can use smaller trucks for, and we'll get to the truck in just a second here. If you're looking at smaller RVs, cheaper RVs and lighter RVs, that means cheaper and lighter materials, and we're living in it full time. We're not taking it out for a couple weekends a year, which is what most RVs are built for.
Right.
And so the truck, we have a 2004 F-250 with the 6-liter Power Stroke turbo diesel, the Ford F-250, of course. And
we had to find that. We did not have that to begin
so
with.
In coastal Virginia, trucks are like diamonds. They're hard to find, and they're expensive when you find them.
Right.
When we drove through Texas,
a dime a dozen.
You could probably get trucks at the dollar store.
Right.
Like they're everywhere. So we were looking for this F-250 over here. Not for this specific F-250, but we kind of narrowed it down. So the first thing was we knew to tow anything north of 10,000 pounds, we wanted a 3/4 ton truck. So that got us to the F-250, Chevy 2500, Dodge 2500. So the F-250 we ended up going with over Chevy, Dodge, and the other options. One, because we found one, and two, when we were looking at the crew cabs, because we have the two of us, we have 3 kids, 2 of which are in car seats still, and we also have a dog. So when we were looking at the crew cabs between the 3, like unless you go with the Dodge Mega Cab, is it the Mega Cab? The
Ram.
Crazy huge one, which they aren't used and they're expensive if they are. But in the back of the Ford, in the floor in the back of the Ford, it's completely flat. The Chevy and the Dodge have a transmission hump in the back. And we knew that with having the dog and the 3 kids in the back, we needed as much space as we could get. All right, so the next question we get a lot is, how do we get mail? We joined a service called Escapees. We'll put a link to it down in the description, but basically what it is it is a mailbox service where we changed our address and our residence and everything to the Escapees address on Rainbow Drive in Livingston, Texas. And what happens is all of our mail gets sent there. Like we did all the normal forwarding stuff with the Postal Service and all that, but we did our address in Texas. And all of our mail gets sent to Escapees. And then we have a mail scanning service where all the pieces of mail, they have some kind of machine or something. I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Maybe we will next time we're there.
You can do a tour of their facility.
Yeah, we weren't able to when we were there. But all the mail gets scanned, and every day that we have something that gets scanned, I get an email notification that says, hey, you have mail in your box. Come in and check it out. So you log into the website and you see a scan of every single piece of mail that you've gotten, and you tell them to either open it and scan the contents, to destroy it if you don't want it or don't need it, or to add it to the next batch where you then tell them an address to send it to. We've done that a couple times where we'll have a batch of email, they just put it in a FedEx envelope, and we tell them, like the campground we're going to be at in like a week and a half, And when we get there, it's there waiting for us, or shows up the next day or whatever, and we have all of our mail.
And if you need it sooner, they do have the option to send it overnight, which
Right.
it's more expensive, like it always is. 2-day, you know. We just usually have them do it ground and, like you said, do it a week and a half or 2 weeks in advance. And then also, like when we order packages from Amazon, we've used the Amazon drop boxes. Lockers.
And the way that works is with Prime, basically before I order stuff, I'll throw stuff in my cart. And before I check out, I'll go to the Amazon locker search, and you can put in a town. Like if I was here, I'd put probably Santa Clarita or whatever is nearby. And Amazon has lock boxes. There's a couple chains of gas stations that have them. Any Whole Foods, since Amazon bought Whole Foods a couple months ago, all the Whole Foods have lockers. So basically you just choose the locker, and then when you're checking out, you choose that as your shipping destination, as your address. And then when it arrives at that box, you get an email with a barcode. You walk up to the box, you boop the barcode, and a little door over in the corner goes, just pops out, and your box is in there. It is really cool.
Next question. How do you plan your route and where you plan to stop along that route? We knew when we started this that our first trip, we wanted to allow at least 18 months to do it because we wanted to see the 48 contiguous states. Alaska and Hawaii, we have different plans for you. And so we knew that would possibly give us enough time to at least spend the night in a state. But so when we first started, we found roadtrippers.com, and we were able to put in kind of big cities along the way that we knew were near where we wanted to go, or if there were national parks near there, and we could kind of just put a couple of spaces out there. And just kind of get a rough route with Road Trippers. And then we broke it up, and we were like, okay, well, we know we need to get to this point by a certain date. And our first date, I think, was St. Patrick's Day to get to New Mexico, because we wanted to see the balloons in Belen. And so for our first leg of the trip from Virginia to New Mexico, the middle of New Mexico, I just kind of plotted points out and knew that I needed to get from December 26th to March 17th. So I just put everything into Road Trippers, and we broke them up into quests. So we could kind of group things, adventuring quests. And so our first quest was to get to Livingston, Texas. So we could change all of our resident stuff, like Brian was just talking about with the mail. And then our next quest was to make it to the Pacific Ocean. And so when we got to San Diego, our second quest ended. So, we're able to do that. I plan out our campgrounds. We are not fly by the seat of your pants kind of people yet. We have been in the occasions where some of our campsites that we planned didn't work, and I was calling on the fly to get someplace in the next 30 minutes to stay.
I'm looking at you, Austin.
Yeah, Austin. But for the most part, I plan us out 2 months, a month to 2 months. Right now we're out at 2 months. I'm right around the middle of July, of planning
it's 2 months right now because we're doing Thousand Trails as much as possible as we go through California and Oregon and Washington, because the RV parks here are astronomically expensive.
Yeah.
And we've spent, I think we're going on 32 or 36 days in Thousand Trails and haven't paid $1.
Right.
We paid for, the zone pass and all of that stuff, but that was
and we did,
not that bad.
For those of you who know Thousand Trails, even if you don't, we did not get one of the big packages for years or whatever. We just bought a zone pass and added 2 extra zones onto it. So, and the Thousand Trails are, they're big parks. They have bathrooms, they have laundry, they have amenities, but they're usually outside of the main area you want to get to.
This one is in the middle of nowhere.
So we're in Acton, California at the Soledad Canyon Thousand Trails, and it took us an hour to get home at midnight last night from the coast. We were down at the Santa Monica Pier.
It took an hour to get here.
Right, so at midnight, so it wasn't even traffic that we were dealing with. So we're a little ways away, but it's quiet and it's beautiful out here. We're in the middle of a canyon in these mountains. It's just lovely. But we've been a couple other places where we've been a little bit outside of where our plans were to go.
Or we've been right smack in the middle, like the Las Vegas one. I mean, we were packed in there. It was
so
I don't know how we got in and out.
We were so tight to the other ones.
It was tight, but it was 10 minutes from the Strip. I mean, it was right there in the middle of everything. So it goes both ways.
Right. I love to stay at state parks. we usually have much bigger spaces to stay in, and we can, we're just in nature, so it's prettier, and there's stuff to do right where you are that, you know, that does it. And you can usually get those for around $20 a night.
Not all of them have full hookups. Like a lot of times they won't have sewer.
Yeah, it's water and electric.
Yeah, we've got a big black tank. We can go 4, 5, 6 days without dumping. So it's
worked
really
for us, right?
For us.
And we've been able to stay at some really beautiful places. My favorite places that we have stayed, my like top 4 favorite places, maybe we'll do a video about that, have all been state parks.
Yes, just a shout out to the Lake Havasu State Park on the lake.
And it was gorgeous.
How much a night?
22 a night, I think.
Lakefront, like literally lakefront
right.
for 22 a night. It's amazing.
And it was just so nice. And there was like nobody around us. It was so nice. Anywho, so that's how I plan the routes. I kind of look ahead where we're going, where we want to go, where we want to be. I look at whether or not we can afford to stay in those places, or if we have to stay outside of them, and that kind of. And we don't like to go more than 200 miles
in one
day, like
day,
one travel day. So we stop a lot. We have little kids. If you didn't know that already, we have a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, and even our 9-year-old doesn't like to go for too long. So we either have to plan stops in between, which makes the driving day longer, or we just do shorter trips. And there's so much to see that doing the shorter trips just allows us to see more things. And you know, but yeah, if you have other questions about that, I could talk about route planning.
Yeah,
we could do a whole thing about route planning.
We might too, because Road Trippers is awesome, and we've learned a couple.
We've really liked Road Trippers. I use Road Trippers to map it out, but I use All Stays, the app All Stays. I think I paid $10 for it months ago, to kind of show you all the different places that you can stay, because like if you just do a Google search for RV parks in San Diego, it might just show you like the commercial parks. It won't always show you the city parks and the regional parks and the state parks and the places that allow overnight parking, the Bureau of Land Management area that you can do boondocking or dry camping. So All Stays really helps me kind of narrow down an area, and I can quickly just click on it and it'll tell me, oh, that's a $5 Stein. I know we're not going to stay there. Yeah. It'll tell me whether or not they're age restricted for 55 plus. A lot of times it won't be 55 plus, but it'll say like no kids or kids are extra, and I don't want to have to pay $5 extra for each one of my children, and then $3 extra per night for my dog. So All Stays is just a really quick area that I can use on my phone while I'm doing the mapping on the computer, to kind of help me do that. So that was one of the other things that I use.
Yeah, I think a whole video is going to come out of plan.
Yeah, I know.
So.
And then I can show you my maps.
Yeah, so subscribe and keep an eye out for more about planning and stuff like that.
And I have maps that go all the way into the summer of next year. Like I've already got routes planned.
That's
so
enough.
There we
all
go.
Right,
Sorry.
next topic. All right, so the next question that we get a lot of times is, how do you stay connected to the internet? A lot of people work from the road. We work from the road. And just in general, you like to be connected to the internet because that's life now. Mm-hmm. The honest answer is we're not always connected to the internet. We have cell service with AT&T. We both have smartphones, and we have a hotspot that has been grandfathered into an unlimited plan. You can't get those anymore, unfortunately. But it works well for us if we don't have Wi-Fi at campgrounds. Most campgrounds claim to offer Wi-Fi, and most campground Wi-Fi is garbage, frankly.
Yeah, it's bad.
If it connects, it is so slow it's unusable, and you're certainly not going to be streaming movies. Some of the campgrounds, like we've encountered some KOAs that have really good Wi-Fi. Others, to get the good Wi-Fi, you have to pay for it, and that's an extra fee on top of your camping fees. So in general, for internet, you'll have it most of the time. If you go and do a lot of boondocking, if you don't have a cell signal, you're not going to have it. We've been at some campgrounds with no Wi-Fi and no cell signal, and you just have a quiet couple days, and it's actually really not that bad.
You hope that you have at least antenna channels so you can watch some TV in the evening. Yeah. If that's your thing. Yeah. We like to watch TV.
Yep. So getting disconnected is not that bad for us every once in a while.
Yeah.
So, all right. And the number one question we get pretty much all the time is, how do we make money while on the road? Mm-hmm. To start off, when we sold the rental property and the house we were living in, we got a good bit of money back out of real estate. So that kind of got us started on this journey, but we still need to start making money to to supplement what we've been spending. So our primary source of income is we work with a company back in Richmond called Anchor Financial, in Richmond, Virginia, called Anchor Financial, and we offer 2 different products to people that we meet in our travels on the road and merchants and stuff we interact with. The first is a service at paywithanchor.com. It is a merchant processing service. So if you've ever seen people that use Square readers or like Chase Payment Tech and stuff like that, so the one that we offer has really great rates. So because every time you swipe that card, you get charged a percentage. The business owner gets charged a percentage to get money that way. Whereas like if you got $10 in cash, it would be different than swiping $10 on a credit card. So the one that we offer has basically industry-leading rates, and they also offer a whole suite of other products. And we offer that to people that we meet along the road. And if we get people to sign up, we get extremely large birds over our heads. But when we get people to sign up, go away. That was a really large, loud bird. So when we get people to sign up for that, which we both believe is a really great product, we get a commission off of the money that they make while using this product. The other one is a Call a Doctor service. It is also with Anchor Financial. It's just a partnership program. And basically the Call a Doctor service is awesome.
Yeah.
We pay $20 a month for this service, and instead of, oh, I'm feeling sick or I got a weird, rash on my arm or whatever, we go to urgent care, spend $50 to just go there and then have someone look at it and write a prescription. You basically can just call a doctor. You submit what's going on. A real doctor that is authorized to write prescriptions and be a doctor in the state that you're currently in will call you back within, I think it's about 10 to 15 minutes, and you can do a video chat or just voice chat, and you can talk about what's going wrong, and if it's something that they can write a prescription for, they will send your prescription to the nearest pharmacy, and you go pick it up, and you don't pay a dime for it. You pay the $20 a month, but it's unlimited calls. It covers your entire family, so it's you up to 5 extra people in your family, and it saves a ton of money. So
and time.
Time especially.
It's really good for the kids because they're always sniffling or complaining about something, and instead of me researching who has the best urgent care, who will take our insurance, who will do this,
if there's any nearby,
because we're so far away from where we know, we can just call the doctor. And
you still have to have your own health insurance
to
for the prescription and for emergency visits, anything like that. But for this service, we're not spending time going to urgent care. We're not spending time waiting at those or trying to find one or wasting money at them, honestly.
Because sometimes it's just a cold.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a cold. You just need an antibiotic. The guy on the phone or on the voice chat will just send a prescription, you go and pick it up, and that was it. There's no money for talking to that doctor. So it's a great product. So there will be links to that and Pay with Anchor in the description below. We recommend both of them.
Yay.
So those are the 2 primary ways that we make money on the road.
And please feel free to send us a message if you have more questions about those, because we'll be happy to answer in depth if you want more in depth.
And then the secondary ways that we make just a little bit extra on the road, just kind of side stuff. One, I'm a graphic designer and I also do digital marketing and branding. So I do that, kind of word of mouth. People will say, hey, I'm looking for a website, and a friend of mine will be like, hey, I know a guy, and I kind of get some side work that way. It's certainly it fills the gas tank every once in a while.
You even get to meet some really cool people.
Yeah, so we do that. And then also, we just hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel here.
Yay, thank you.
Pretty
we love
soon,
you.
Yes, thank you very much. So pretty soon we'll be able to monetize this and, just get paid by YouTube with ads. And the subscriber count keeps going up, so hopefully y'all like what we're doing. And then soon we're going to be launching a Patreon, so we're going to build our own community. The people that we've been meeting and people that have been commenting on our content online and really kind of showing us that people enjoy seeing what we're doing. We're going to build a community around Patreon, so for just a couple bucks a month, you'll be able to get access to this community, and we'll get to know you better. You'll get to know us better. We'll have content just for you guys, and that'll be another way to just kind of supplement our income. And so that's basically how we're making money on the road. It's really no big secret. So if anybody has any questions about any of that, just let us know. thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, like and comment on this video, hit the little bell so you get notifications when our videos go up.
Visit 5togo.com
Yep,
if you want to see some longer posts from Brian about the different places we've been and things that we've done.
Yep, and then hit us on Instagram, follow us on Instagram rather. You'll see daily updates. We put pictures and videos up multiple times a day. And
stories, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, yep. So there's plenty of ways to follow us. Links to everything are down below. And thank you guys for watching.